Yeah! Yeah! Cathrovision! Hello everybody and welcome to the very last Cathrovision from the World Cups this year. This is the Patreon video, the final video, the race day video from Snowshoe World Cup. Patreon's a website where people can donate a little bit of money towards me making these videos, and this is all of them here, all those lovely people that have helped make these videos possible. Cruising on past, they get little bonuses, they get their name in the video, they get some stickers sent out at the end of the year, and they also get to ask questions to the pros. So in a second, we're going to go around the pits, ask some of those questions they submitted. There's some good ones, there's some weird ones, there's always weird ones. And yeah, we'll get them asked. After we come back, we're going to be here. Mercedes-Benz Wild Zone. This is an awkward rock garden into a big old drop into the steepest section on the track. And people are loving it. Thanks to all the patrons. Let's go ask some questions. So I've actually got a question from a viewer, from a guy, Rory Brown-Kerr, and he was wondering, because you used to be a pretty top level race yourself, used to race World Cups, do you feel that gives you an advantage as a mechanic for a rider, or do you find that your kind of ideas from when you used to race maybe conflict with Danny's?
Sometimes he does like to have a bit of, like, we're walking the track the other day and I was like, oh, there's a line there, and he was like, you can't jump that. I was like, go and get the trail bike and I'll jump that. And he was like, sure enough, he was doing it.
Yeah.
I think it helps a little bit, and I think it backs up his belief in me as well, and the other lads on the team as well. They'll sometimes turn to me and ask me questions because the scene where I used to race at, and where other people who haven't raced, you know, I'm not saying I'm more experienced than anyone or anything like that, but other people who haven't raced as much, sometimes when someone asks a question, they just believe it from someone who has been there. Sometimes a little bit more.
So if you say, Danny, you need to run 25 PSI, not 26, would he believe you?
Well, I did put his tyres up to 27 this week without telling him, because I couldn't be asked to build any more wheels.
We'll leave it at that. Cheers, guys.
Nice one, cheers.
Back at World Champs, when you're racing for your team, your country, instead of your team, do you find like the French racers will share more information and help each other more than at a normal World Cup?
The French team brings out like all the video, like the timing, everything for everyone. So it's like more of a sharing data that we share. So it's like for everyone. So if you do like something well, they're gonna film it and send it to everyone. So we share more stuff basically on World Champ. But then in between each other, it's like still the same, like World Cup or World Champ. Like I don't feel like there's a difference.
Nico, not quite a home race, but close enough. You helped design the track. You were here testing it, and what do you think? Do you think it went down well?
I think so. I mean, their first time running a big event like this, there's always going to be some challenges, but they knocked it out of the park. I think it was one of the most exciting races to watch. The race course turned out really good, and there was so many spectators here, some American fans that were really pumped to watch the racing. So yeah, it was awesome, and they really want to have another one.
And I got a guy, viewer, he was kind of talking about technique, and he's really interested in foot position when cornering. And bear with me a second, he likes to have his outside foot to the back and lower his back foot when he's turning. So he finds when he turns one way, he feels comfy. He finds when he turns the other way, he feels a bit awkward having his front foot going down. Is that something you've ever thought about? Do you switch feet? Do you do anything different, or not worry about it?
Yeah, I definitely don't switch feet. I think the tracks though are so fast that most riders are keeping their pedals level now. And it's just a natural position. Like, I spend so much time riding a mountain bike that being offset is just normal. Like, I've been to the chiropractor and there's like, your hips are out of aligned, but that's the way my body works because I spend so much time riding a mountain bike like that. So it just becomes natural to you. It's which foot you ride forward is like the way you'd ride a snowboard or skateboard, or it's just like being left or right-handed. So I ride left foot forward, and I don't even really think about it. Most corners, especially a downhill race, they're not tight enough to need to drop the foot. So you just kind of stay planted and more in my upper body and keeping my shoulders and looking ahead is more what I'm thinking about, and carrying momentum than as much my feet.
One of my viewers is watching, big fan, and is wondering, will we see a female racer on the syndicate in the near future?
I tell you what, I'm sure he's referring to Nina Hoffman, who I absolutely adore. In fact, our entire team loves her to bits. She's amazing. personally, I think she's the most exciting girl to come along since Missy Giove, okay? And to be fair, I've told my higher-ups that I would love to have her on our team. So it's not, I'm not the decision maker, so there's the higher-ups from the marketing and whatnot that is in their hands, whatever they wish to do. So
Cool.
I don't know yet what's going to happen. I would love to see it happen. I would love to see it happen.
Is that? Can I put my microphone in your microphone?
A fan made my microphone.
From the fans, what they're wanting to know is, in the off season, other than training and practicing your interviewing technique, what are you going to be doing?
Probably do some wheelies.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Actually, you tend to do more manuals. That always grates on me.
Sometimes, but I actually throw in the occasional pedal just to make sure that it's a wheelie, so that people like you can't.
That's a technicality.
So people like you can't hate on me. Yeah.
Well, I can't hate in the skills though.
Going to Japan, getting married.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh
so,
snap.
Yeah.
Snap.
Yeah. I'm getting married.
We're getting married in a couple of weeks.
Well, there we go.
There we go.
We're both doing it in the off season. Congratulations to getting married.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well done.
Those are the two main things, and then get ready for 2020.
I have a house since the start of the year, so I'll probably work on the house and hang out with the dog, go to the beach, boring stuff, boring normal life stuff.
Excellent. So actually do normal things.
It's literally the dream for someone like us who's traveling all the time, being normal.
Cool.
Well, looking after Sophia, she's pregnant, so
I heard.
I'm going to be a daddy, so I need to look after her, and we're getting married and nice honeymoon and stuff like that.
All the
so
good stuff.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be nice.
You got any how to look after a baby books to read?
No, just do as I'm told.
Cheers, Danny. Well, you might fail doping control with whatever they're giving us here.
We're getting a countdown.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold on.
That's quite nice, actually.
Are you gonna have a break? We go to Whistler, ride, do some parties, and then that's really good. Huh? And go back to training and just we'll go for it.
Smash it.
Yeah, we'll try.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much.
Yo. Back to the riding. We return to the wild zone. This section starts with the rock garden, leads into the double drop, and then exit into this mega steep chute. Let's focus on the rocks first, as there were at least a couple lines to be taken here. So this rocky section, there's a few options. We've got the fully inside here, but the turn at the end here is pretty tight, so no one was really doing that. There's a middle line that a lot of people were doing, where you come in over this stone, over that nice big rock slab, and then filtering down into the exit of the woods. Some people were gapping from just out of sight over and landing on the back side of this one, and then doing the same line. That's pretty cool. I'll show you that from the side so you know what I'm talking about. And then finally we have this nice wide line, which in theory should be the best because it gives you that beautiful long curve, but it is a little bit longer. There's only one way to find out what's better. We're going to have to ghost this section, see what works. So first of all, let's figure out if Jack Moir gapping the middle line is faster than Florent Payet pumping through the middle line. As they appear, you can see the yellow wheel of Payet pulling away as he enters the section faster. Payet holds that clean line, keeping his speed, and takes the section by 0.32. I think both versions of this line can be done at the same pace. It's just commitment level that's the deciding factor. Let's stick with Payet as the fastest on the middle and bring Amaury Pierron as the fastest man on the outside. As they plough into the rock garden, there's not much between them, but at that first tree you can see Payet has a slight lead, but then Pierron has the straighter setup for the corner, carries more speed. They hit that rock, and for the second time this year we have a draw. I did have my suspicions that there wouldn't be too much difference on the lines in this rock garden, but let's be sure and compare the girls. We have Tanny Seagrave on the super direct but tight inside, Maureen Cabarrou on the middle, and Veronica Widman going all the way around the outside. Now, in a Cathrovision first, I clicked lots of different buttons in Final Cut Pro and managed to make 3 riders appear at the same time. Prepare yourself. Tanny goes on the shorter inside and pulls ahead while Marine cruises the middle, but look how fast Veronica is moving around the outside as they get to the tight tree. Tanny is still in the lead with Marine right behind, but here comes Veronica making a last lunge for the line. It takes it from Tanny by 0.33, with Marine a further 0.1 behind. Massive win for Veronica on the outside, but where the heck is she going on the exit? I'll tell you after this brief intermission from the West Virginian downhill cheerleading squad. Okay, where was Veronica going? She was taking the wide exit of the wild zone, which is much longer and an easier option. Why would a rider choose this line? Well, let me show you. This is the main line. Riders drop in from the top of this rock slab up here, and then either they can land early on this piece of rock here, or they can keep it going and land just beyond the rock on the dirt here. Then they have to suddenly deal with this super tight turn and hopefully be composed enough to then go off this next really big drop. So the wide line, you drop off of here and you can land there. It is a much smaller drop compared to the one on the right, and the run out is much better. Look at all that real estate you've got to get composed before doing a smaller drop on the outside. So it is further, but it is easier and it's more consistent. The inside line was faster by over a second, so what we're going to do is focus on the different methods and techniques for tackling that inside line. When done well, it looks easy, but if you mess it up, things could go very wrong with there being 2 drops in a row. First thing riders had to do was before the drop, brake check hard. The speed you come in is far too fast for the shape of the rock and how soon you have to land for the turn. Go too fast and you'll land deep and then not make the corner. Once slowed down, there were many ways of tackling the drop, but I'm going to try and put them into 2 categories. The rock tappers, these riders slowed up and then dropped onto the slab immediately after the drop. This was more controlled, smoother, but potentially slower. It did make it easier to get the next corner good. Then there was the senders who went from the top, aired it all the way down, landing on the dirt after the rocks. But that did not leave you very much time to get ready for the next corner. So it was very hard to do, but you did go over the drop faster. I want to try and concisely break down how riders accomplished each technique. Skip forward to the timestamp on screen if you just want to see the comparison. Stay with me if you're interested in technique and some bad drawing. First, we have the rock tappers. Here's Dakota Norton doing a demonstration for us. Notice how in the edge of the drop, Dakota's head is forward and down low. His chest is compressed towards those bars. Also, those eyes are locked on to that rock slab, ready to push that front wheel down to get that nice landing. As the front wheel comes off the edge, Dak pushes the front wheel down towards that landing. See, the arms are fully extended now and that front wheel's going down, but his legs and hips remain soft, letting that back wheel come up and almost buzz him in the bum there. Real close. Notice his torso hardly moves during this. The bike is just being pitched and moved beneath him to follow the terrain. Getting the wheels on the ground early like this makes the landing smoother and gives you more time to balance and brake before the turn, which makes the corner easier to do fast. A real representation of slow in and fast out. The opposite approach is the send. Like I said, this can be done with more speed and or some variance in technique. Check Pierre on, catching the downslope nicely, but how did he do it? Notice on the edge of the drop, Pierron is in a very similar position to Dak. His head is forward, it's down, close to his handlebars, except his eyes aren't looking down, they are looking forward to that landing on the dirt. There are two other differences. Pierron is going faster, and instead of pushing the bike down, he pushes the bike out towards that dirt landing. Ignore that play bar there. On the edge of the drop, Pierron pushes the bike out instead of down, getting the bike to float level off towards that landing. But look, his legs are also the same as Dak's, staying soft, letting the back wheel coming up to stop him from getting kicked forward into a horrendous nosedive. So the technique is very similar. Pierron then straightens his leg to push the bike down to the ground, centers himself between the axles and lands committed, ready to rail that next turn. Piece of piss, eh? There's infinite variance to the ways that riders can tackle this feature. Some don't do much sit-up before, and you can see them lunging their bums back to try and stop the front wheel dropping. Some get really far forward and then drive the bike down toward the ground. Most common mistake you'll see riders have is the bum buzz. This is most commonly caused by not setting up far enough forward before the drop. When they push the bike out, they run out of room before the back wheel clears the rock and then tire meets cheek. This is effectively like pulling on your back brake, causing some bum clenching nosedives, pun fully intended. Nice save, Matt. Final common race critical mistake on this drop is more to do with the turn and braking. You have to land already lent in and committed for that corner to be able to get off the brakes early on this corner. Everyone has to do a bit of braking when they land, but those that can do it the least and get off earliest absolutely fly down that next section. You'll see the difference when we compare. That was a lot of talking. If you found any of that interesting and appreciate the effort that went into that, drop a wee sneaky thumbs up. Anyway, let's watch some riders blasting through and we'll see who nailed it best. Let's compare. We have the master of bum buzzing, Loic Bruni, against himself. On one of his runs he brakes hard in the turn, and on the other one he doesn't. Let's see how much of a difference that makes. The Loics both add a new tyre imprint to their shorts off the drop. One lands a little wide and has to brake to correct, allowing the other one to pull away. At the finish, this little tap of the brakes equates to 0.41 of a second. Lucky Loic didn't make that mistake in the race, or he would have lost the championship. Now let's compare corner sender Gaetan Vige and rock tapper Aaron Gwyn. Gwyn pushes down, taps the rock, while Vige lands super committed and carves off the next drop, landing high and pulling away. Gaetan takes it by 0.27 from the Gwinner, and this send is winning so far. Let's see race winner Danny Hart as the fastest rock tapper versus Troy Brosnan as the fastest sender. They both float over the drop, and as you'd expect, the send is quicker to the turn, but Troy has to get the corner perfect to keep the speed, which he does, motoring away to take it by 0.18. So the send is quickest, but only 3 people actually got it good, as it's so hard to commit to a turn when you're landing in it from 5 foot up. More people were faster by controlling the drop onto the rock and then railing the turn. It's horses for courses, but Gaetan and Brosnan were on another level.
Blow in his face.
For those that don't know, this man, he is retiring from downhill World Cup photography.
I'm out of here.
Why?
Why? Bruises, ankle damage, shoulder damage, midge bites, insect bites, bruises, dehydration,
lack of whiskey,
lack of cigar, you name it. That's why I'm leaving. It's been an amazing 17 years. Thanks very much. Ben Cathro, superstar. He's a superstar. He brings the goods to the public out there. Man, support this guy. He's like doing everything for you guys. Give him some money. Give him some money.
So Keith is definitely going to be missed at the races. He brings a certain bit of character to a lot of the events and also some excellent photos. If you've ever been at the races and you've had photos taken by Keith here, Funked, his Flickr account is now open, so you can steal the photos for free.
You can steal my photos for free, for nothing, for nothing.
Cheers, Keith. Well, you'll be missed. Final one. Hey, how are we looking? How are we sounding? That sound good? Oh, it's a bit dark. Hang on. Oh, audio. How's the audio? Hello. Hello. As you might be able to tell, thanks to this lovely robe I've got here, I'm actually on holiday at the moment. I've been travelling about East Coast America with my fiancée Tina after the Snowshoe World Cup, and yeah, we've been having a great time, but I've been sneaking a little bit of time in the evenings to get that last Patreon video done, so I hope you enjoyed it. But I have to say, massive, huge thank you to everyone for watching my videos all year. Without everyone watching, doing what I'm doing and going to all these World Cups would not have been possible. It was so amazing meeting some of you viewers at the last World Cup in Snowshoe and the other World Cups through the year, some of the patrons as well, and it was just really cool seeing that all the effort that goes into the videos was really appreciated. So thank you for all of the kind words during all of the World Cups throughout the year. They were really appreciated. Also got to say a huge thank you to the sponsors throughout the year. Without them, none of this would have been possible either. And one of the ones that was a bit more kind of under the radar was Santacruz. They actually paid a lot of my expenses throughout the year to get to all the World Cups. So yeah, top-notch Santacruz. And don't forget Mudhugger. They were main sponsor for our first day practice videos. Also make amazing stuff. And then other sponsors were Slik Graphics, Roots and Rain, Action Sports Medical, and I'm sure there's others that I'm forgetting, but yeah, without you, yeah, it's just been amazing. Huge support from all of them, and they deserve your custom. Cathrovision 2019 done and dusted. 2020, it will be happening, but maybe not the same as it was this year. I got some really big plans. I can't tell you what they are because I've got so much to organise to actually make it happen. If it doesn't, it'll be similar to this year, but if it does, it'll be really cool. So stay tuned for that. In the near future, I'm flying home tomorrow actually, and then quickly going into a wedding, my wedding. Getting married with the girl over in the corner. Yeah, come over here. You're part of this too. Look, you look fine. Get over here. Oh, you're so cute. We're actually getting married next week, so we will be, if you do come to me next year, it'll be Mrs. and Mrs. Cathrovision. So yeah, quite excited for that.
Yes.
But yes, thank you for me, and
thank you.
Thank you from Tina as well. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.